And we can hear the bells of the collegial. So it is 5 p.m. So it's 4 p.m. 4 p.m. French time. So it's officially time to start. So welcome everyone. Welcome to Briançon. We are in France in the department of Hautes-Alpes. And it is 4 p.m. French time. So if any of you are watching this on replay later on, if it's no longer 8th of January, 4 p.m., then you're watching the replay. If anyone was completely new to me, you're very welcome. I'm Nathalie, and you've got the chat. Feel free to use it. Just so you know, we'll go into an old town, so we could have some little ups and downs with the signal. If that happens, I'm ever so sorry. And let's go. So this is the beautiful Briançon. It is officially the highest city in France. Although really, we cannot claim that title because we don't really have a difference between a city and a town in France. It's basically a commune, and a commune is either a village or a city. So you only have, you need to have more than 2,000 inhabitants to be called a ville anyway. So it is the highest ville in France, but it's not like a city in the UK. And this is a fortress. This is a fortification from a gentleman called Vauban. And you can see it's been built into, well, it's been kind of bonded with the rocks. So you can see the rocks on the fortification. And that dates back to the time of Louis XIV. So we'll go down. I've decided to go down, not up with this tour for two reasons. One, because I have a train to catch, because that's going to be the last train for today, and the train is down there, and also because you don't want to hear me huffing and puffing all along, so we'll go down, it's easier. Hi Tariq, and welcome everyone that just joined. I'm hoping we'll have a few latecomers. I know it's we've had a little bug with Streamlabs, so it's going to be hard for some people to find the right stream, but hey ho. Anyway, this fortification, that was to protect ourselves from the Dukes of Savoy. So when we talk about the Dukes of Savoy, it's basically the Italians. It's fairly dangerous, as I bet you can see. So let's go down this way to show you the view, and I'll actually show you the way towards Italy. So to give you an idea, 14 kilometers down this way, it's Italy. So we're very much by the border, and that's why it is fortified here, because they did not want Italian invasions. Actually, we used to have a bit more land down that way. If you go straight down this way, you'll end up in Pignerol. Pignerol, well, if you are a bit of a Leonardo DiCaprio fan, you might know Pignerol. That's where the famous Iron Mask man was locked in a jail. At the time, Pignerol was very much in France. You found me, Linda. Well done. So the gentleman that built those fortifications is known as Vauban. Vauban is very much remembered in France because of his fortifications. Pretty much every single border in France would have a Vauban structure. 12 of his fortifications are now UNESCO heritage sites, and this is definitely the case with Briançon. It's one of the most strategic fortifications in Europe. And as you can see, it's a bit of a maze. That's the point, you know. Because if you see a nice fort at the top of the hill, you'd think that, you know, you have an army there, they're well fed, and you don't want to attack. So this is the way towards Italy, and we are gonna go into the old town. This is quite cool as well. And there's a little view here. So that's where I was sat waiting for you earlier, because the cafe I wanted to warm up in was closed until 5. So Sébastien Leprest de Vauban was like the chief engineer of Louis XIV. Hold on, I need to be careful here because it's all icy. And he almost revolutionized siege warfare. Yes, Savoy, the Duke of Savoy would have been the enemy. Yes, absolutely. And this type of fortifications, that was almost impossible to siege because he was a mathematician and an engineer, and he created those amazing fortifications that lasted till today. Vauban also had, look at that, you don't want to be underneath that one when it melts down and falls on you. So yeah, Vauban, he had some kind of an impact on the French borders, basically. When he decided, it's Briançon, it's the old town, but because pretty much everything we'll see today dates back towards Pignerol, so of the road, because see all this snow, we don't want it falling on us. I've seen it fall down. I've been here all day trying to figure out the Louis XIV. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about Louis XIV. He's probably the most romanticized king in France. So if you've seen any of those TV shows, that's the Sun King, the longest reigning monarch in history, really, longer than Queen Elizabeth II. 72 years, I think he was on the throne, so 3/4 of a century. So this is the main street. Are we still good with signal? It's the Grande Rue, but it's also known as the Great Gargle because of this little wriggle. So this is the melted snow. Today the old town it's very quiet because signal is good. Oh, that's amazing, Tish. I didn't expect it to be good here. So on a Monday they take their day off. And also, Central Briançon, it's what the French people often call museum of their activity, because you don't have any massive supermarkets. So that's happening in quite a few old towns all across France, really. The museification of the town. So as we get to the new town, you'll see it's going to be much more alive, really. Hi, Polly. I'm amazed that the signal is still good because it didn't seem very good earlier. But right, let's try to go and take a look at the collegial. High walls, sometimes the signal drops a bit, but if it stays with us, we are lucky. The gods of the internet are with us. Oh, you found me, Carol. Yeah, sorry about that. The Streamlabs had a little bug. Cool. So this is the beautiful collegial Notre Dame. Same period of history. It dates back to the time of Louis XIV as well. And it's part of the fortification. It's quite close to the wall because at the time, would you believe, even in terms of warfare, on siege warfare, especially the Italians, they still respected the churches. So, you know what, let's try to go and take a little look. I'm not sure the signal will stay, but let's try, why not? I'm going to be quiet because of course it's a church. Some people seem to be wondering what I was doing, but that's what happens when you walk around with a camera. Anyway, let's try going down that way. I really did not expect the signal to be good down here. because what I did earlier, what I do to check the signal, I usually walk around watching YouTube shorts. If they load okay, usually the signal is decent. And they were not loading okay here, so I didn't expect it to be manageable, so that's great. It's all very quiet, but super cute. So I'll keep talking then, there's no need for chit-chat. If you lose me, do let me know. But yes, so Louis XIV, we're talking about the Sun King, is very famous because he ruled for a very long time, and he's also the king that literally popularized the wigs, because he was a king for a very young age. And he had a sickness, some kind of similar to typhus, but some kind of a weird sickness as a teenager. And one of the side effects of the drugs they gave him, literally poison, was to lose his hair. So because he was balding very early, he actually started to wear those big wigs, and he literally started the fashion. Some of you were talking about skiing earlier. Straight ahead, this is a skiing station. This is Serre Chevalier. So that's a nice family-orientated skiing station. Right, let's go back into town. We can see if you see those buildings here, you can actually see a bit of the Italian influence. They're very colorful, like they can be in some part of Italy. Well, it's not very sunny today, so the colors are not that bright, but yeah. So yeah, Louis XIV is the one that ruled for a very long time, and he had Vauban as his engineer in chief to design all those fortifications. And we were talking about Pignerol, the port of Pignerol earlier. So did any of you see all those movies or any of those novels about the Iron Mask men? Sometimes I'm not aware if they are popular everywhere or if it's really a French man. Was basically a prisoner. You've seen the movie, great, Sadiam. One man was captured with two perfect. So not here in King in Versailles, and simply don't know why. Look at the fountain here. I'm guessing it's drinking water, but I do not have a glass, so we cannot try. And to this day, it's still a big mystery on why this gentleman was masked. He was not tried. He had been sent straight into prison. So again, that was fairly rare. And there have been a lot of speculations. Hello, speculations over the years on why he might have been forced to wear a mask, and he was away from anyone. No one was allowed to speak to him, and according to what some people say, he was very well treated in prison. He was treated like a prince, and he was then moved from Pignerol to the Bastille in Paris. But still today we don't know. There are a few contenders on who he might have been, and there's quite a few conspiracy theories really. And the one you often see in the movies is that he would be the secret brother, the half brother, or sometimes even the twin brother of Louis XIV. That's what they portray in the DiCaprio movie. What is also possible is that he might have been aware that the king was a bastard, because the king, we don't know that for sure, probably not, but the king was suspected of being illegitimate because his parents had been together for a very long time. They had been married 23 years with no living babies. And they were not spending that much time together. So suddenly when the baby came, Anne d'Autriche, she was So some said that it might have been one of the guard of Cardinal Richelieu's here in the old town. So when sunny, you should be able to read the time. It's from left to right, if you know how to read it. I don't. So yeah, we still don't know what I think it might have been. Well, there are many different theories. There's some say that it might have been the dad, actually, the secret dad of the king, and that's why he would have been masked, because he looked like the king. So that would have been the Duke of Beaufort. The Duke of Beaufort, he was actually locked in here in Briançon at some point. What I think, because he was arrested in Calais, so that's of course the way to England, I think it might have had something to do with Charles II. We know that Charles II's sister, Henrietta of England, she's the daughter of Maria Henrietta and Charles I. She was quite close to the king, Louis XIV, and suddenly they stopped talking. Did something happen there, you know? And, you know, France and England were negotiating about the Dutch wars and stuff. Did the man in the Iron Mask know something too much, you know? Did he have some kind of dirt that could have slowed down those negotiations? Who knows? Some even said that Charles II was about to secretly convert back to Catholicism, and that's why we don't know. We don't know, but I suspect it has something to do with English history. Some say there's also there's another theory that's a bit ridiculous if you ask me, but the Duke of Beaufort, he had, sorry about the term, but he had gifted a little gentleman, a dwarf from Africa, to the Queen. And she did have a baby that was black. Well, or what they believed to be black at the time. It turned up that the baby was not black at all. It was blue, and because of a blood problem, and he was dying. But the royal gossip went everywhere, and they said that the little black gentleman that was with the Queen had actually fathered an illegitimate baby, and that maybe he was the Iron Mask man. Very unlikely, because there have been a few eyewitnesses that claim they've seen the man. If he was a little gentleman, they would have noticed. So yeah, who knows? We'll never know. And one also fairly possible theory would be that it's not true at all. One of the most common contendants, or what we believe today might be true, there was a chap called Eustache d'Auger that was captured in Calais, and that was indeed sent to prison and indeed moved to the Bastille. And he was just a valet, a normal valet. We don't know. He may have been a valet to Henrietta of England, but we don't know that for sure. So some say that his jailer, his name was Saint Mars, he actually made up the full story of the mask and everything just to make himself look important, interesting. Because clearly, if it wasn't for the man in the Iron Mask, we wouldn't be talking about Saint Mars today. So some say that it was completely exaggerated or even completely fake. Who knows? Are you guys still here? Because the chat has been quite quiet for a while, so let me know if you can still hear me. See the river there, it is the Durance. Originally I wanted to go down, but no, it's all icy. There's a little footpath, but I couldn't even go down 2 steps. It was completely icy. Can hear, perfect. Thank you, Satyam. Oh, perfect, Tish. Cool. Let's go down then, because now we shouldn't have any more risk of signal, so we're all good. Let's go down towards the new town. So the old town is very quiet and not very busy, as you might have seen. There's only one hotel left, and actually, oh, you know what? Let me turn around to show you. Behind the city fort on the hill there, This is the three-head fort, and this is where some British soldiers were locked in through the Napoleonic Wars. We know that for sure because we have, there's a gentleman in Cornwall, he's got the diaries of his great granddad, William Thomas, or Thomas William, no, William Thomas. That's what happens when your name is a first name. I think William Thomas, his name was, and he's left some great diaries about what was happening in the fort. I could stop being so fascinating. Thanks, Polly. So yeah, and when the Brits were locked in there, it was going very well between the Brits and between the prisoners and the French. Actually, there are some evidence that some of the French used to hide eau de vie, so liquor, into pork bladders to sell it to the British prisoners. And some of the British prisoners managed to escape, but they didn't go back to the UK. They stayed here and married some ladies from Briançon. So it was going quite well. Now, I'm gonna turn around to show you the gate. So this is Porte d'Embrun. You might remember Embrun. We were there 2 days ago. When we went to the lake, that was Embrun. So if I go down this way, I'm going towards Embrun, which is still an hour on the car, but it's down that way. So you can see those fortifications. If you wanted to siege that city, well, good luck to you. I'll turn around so you can see how much ramparts. So that'll be quite hard to access. And the fortress is kind of melting into the mountain, but it's still there to be seen as a deterrent, so no one wants to attack. Let me show you the other side here. So you've got the city itself, the fort there, and there's another fort on the other side. So very well protected. As always with Vauban, they're always very much well thought. Up and let's go out this way. So the other thing with Briançon that is a little bit more controversial, but I think we have to talk about it. There's a massive issue here with illegal immigration. You might know every day and every week you have a lot of migrants coming into Italy, especially in what is it called, Lampedusa, the island on the south of Italy, and a lot of those migrants speak French because a lot of Africa speaks French, and their final destination is often France. And although we do not have any borders anymore between France and Italy, we still very much have the border police going with drones into the mountain. And some of the inhabitants of Briançon are feeling quite spied on because you've got those drones everywhere. Let me show you this is the monument for the soldiers we've lost and the people we've lost through the First and Second World War. So yeah, every night you have some young migrants walking through the Alps, trying to reach France. And it's extremely dangerous, because they don't want to take the main roads because they don't want to be spotted by the police. So they actually take the mountain. There's a ski station actually a bit further down that has the ski slopes half in France, half in Italy. But it's a very dangerous hike, especially in the winter. And the thing is, it's a never-ending story because when they get caught by the police sends them back to Italy, to a refuge. The next night, they try again. And eventually they try 3-4 times and they make it. But it's so dangerous. Every year you have quite a few of them dying in the mountains. And some of them survive, but very sadly, it's easy to get some frostbite. When you walk in the snow for that long. Can I show the fort again? Well, from here we are not going to see much of the fort, but I can try to turn again around later on. And so yeah, it's very sad because some of them lose their life, some of them get I've just had a big piece of snow falling on me. Some of them have to get amputated because of the frostbites on their fingers. So yeah, very dangerous route. And the thing is, those guys and ladies are extremely determined. You know, they've left maybe Benin or Ivory Coast. They went through Algeria. They crossed the Mediterranean. They might have lost some of their loved ones in the sea. So when they come here, they are gonna make it anyway. Whatever you do, they are gonna make it. So, you know, instead of seeing them die in the mountains, there are a lot of people here. They call themselves volunteers, but really they are outlaws, but they go and help them. So there are hundreds of people here in Briançon that go every night in the mountain with a van. They sometimes even give their phone numbers and they go and help them. Those people are saving lives, you know, and they think they do the job of the government. But I can see, I don't want to seem like I'm opinionated because I know it's a never-ending story, but although they are heroes and they're risking 5 years of prison because helping an illegal immigrant, that's why you risk, you know. But they are saving lives, and you have some doctors as well that volunteer, and there are a lot of there was a big refuge here in Briançon, only staffed with volunteers because the government doesn't want to do too much either because they don't want to make it too easy. And apparently it's a big debate here, and it's kind of dividing people as well, because of course some people absolutely want to help because they don't want to see people dying in the mountains, but in the other hand, you know, it's the same everywhere. They take some very, very difficult routes, but crossing the Alps in the middle of the night is definitely a dangerous one. And sometimes they have children with them as well. At the Italian refuge, they tell them what the risks are. They even show them pictures of frostbites and stuff. But sadly, they're very determined, and eventually they take the risk. So we'll just go a bit further down to show you the new town. So over here it's much busier. So you have a lot of people actually living here. I didn't even show you behind me. There's a high school, a lycée. So it's a very high school. It's probably one of the highest high schools in France. See the building there in the middle of the screen. It might be the highest high school in France. Who knows? We are here 1,326 meters high, if I remember right. Yeah, I've never been to the theater. Well, I've only been here today, but yeah, it looks like a good theater. You can also take a cable car straight ahead to go up the Serre Chevalier. Where I'm staying, in the station I'm staying, in the cable car. It's not even a cable car, it's a chairlift basically. In 2007 they started to do speed dating in the cable car. So you'd go up with a stranger, you've got whatever time it takes to chat, and then back up and back down with a different stranger each time to do speed dating. I don't know if they still run it, but that was an interesting way to do it. I have to be careful because it's still very icy. I'm gonna cross over. That's gonna be much better on the other side. Yeah, all those skiing stations, they have to reinvent themselves, you know, because just the ski slopes, it's not enough anymore. So some of them have spas and rides. Where I'm staying, there's a big ride actually in the mountain, so you can do more than just ski, and that's quite good for the people that don't ski, that would get bored like myself. So this is the new town. It's I think Briançon is about 12 or 11,000 inhabitants. So it's not a big city. The sidewalks are so narrow. Linda, this one is not bad actually for some French towns. But yes, sometimes you don't know. Sometimes there are some places in France that I honestly don't know how people do when they're in a wheelchair. But this one is not too bad. And we have a little bit of sun. That's quite unexpected. I did not expect any sun today. Yeah, the one on the other side is not even a footpath anymore. It's I wouldn't recommend going down there. You can see some people coming back from the skiing. This part is a really horrible stage in the Tour de France. Yeah, I think all the mountain areas are quite difficult in the Tour de France. But yeah. I mean, I'm a cyclist myself, but I wouldn't want to cycle in the mountains. And there we go. So that's the new town here. Still quite nice, and probably not that new, but it's not from the 17th century like the rest of the old city. When we think about Louis XIV, we also, we always think about Versailles and all that, but really his reign influenced a lot of France, especially by the borders. Yes, it's Cheryl, in English we say it's the highest city in France, but really it's not a city as we would as the British definition of city, because we are only on 12,000 inhabitants, no university, so it would be a town, because we don't really have this difference between town and city in France. And it is also the highest fortified city in France. So this is the new town. You have a lot more shops and restaurants and normal shops as well. If you want to do grocery shopping, that's much more convenient. And if you want to park your car as well, it's much more convenient down here than it would be in the old town. So yeah, even the train station, I'm gonna have to keep walking down because the train doesn't come all the way up to the old town. So you wanted to see the fort again. Let me try to... So from here you see the collegial at the top, and see where you have the big spike. That's the fort, but that's the Fort du Château. It's not... Let me see if we can see the other fort. No, it's gonna be hidden behind the... Oh yeah, we can see a bit of the other fort. So the Fort des Têtes is at the top there. Cheryl is asking, have I lived here? Oh no. I am not a mountain girl. I would hate it. I don't understand why people come to the mountain in the winter. It's freezing. I'm only here to see family. So I've got some family that has a little studio flat in a skiing station there. And my nephews are visiting. My brother and his kids, they live in New Caledonia. So that's quite far away. And I had not seen I had never met my second nephew actually. So that's why I'm here, basically to see family. But generally, I don't mind the mountain in the summer because you could do some cycling and great hikes and swimming in the lakes and canyoning and rafting. So summer is nice, but winter, no, I would not want to live here. Look, if they're planning on recycling their street decoration for next year. Oh, they probably would, yeah. Yeah. And there we go. So that's the old town. So we'll we'll finish around here because I need to run to the train station. Because we still have buses after that, but I tend to feel sick on the mountain roads, so I want to make sure I catch the train. That's also another reason why I don't like the mountain. I do very easily feel sick in a car. So on those roads like this, where the flat is, where we're staying, it's like every day if you want to go down to the lake, it's not my favorite. Cool. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Polly. Thanks everyone for coming today. Sorry about the little bug that made it difficult to find the tour. It'll be available on replay anyway if you wanted to catch the beginning. And if you want to see a bit more of me, what am I doing? Oh, next Friday, a late one. So Dark Tales of the British Museum and on Holborn. So that's on Friday about 11 p.m. So that's a classic. We've done it before. And I know you don't have the little links because of the bug, but of course, if any of you were gonna drop me a little tip on buy me a coffee or PayPal, that's very much appreciated. And if you don't find the links, feel free to do it through YouTube as well. You've got the option. Hello. I love it when people want to say hello on camera, but they don't know which. Yes, Cheryl, it is here, Briançon. So 1,326 meters. It's here in the old town. Yeah. Cool. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, thank you very much for coming today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good morning, a good evening, whatever time it is for you, wherever you are in the world. And hopefully I'll see some of you. Oh, okay, you copied. Yeah, cool. So hopefully I'll see some of you on Friday. If not, I'll see you soon. If you were completely new to me, hope you'll give me a little subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on the fun next time. And if you want to make sure with the little bug with Streamlabs, hopefully it'll be fixed soon. But if you want to make sure you don't miss anything, the best way is to go on the notification and hit the bell on anything I do. This way, every time it starts a new live, you should get a notification. So hopefully that should make it easier to find the streams when they are new. Cool. See you later, guys. Have a good evening or good morning. Bye bye.